Hello everyone, it's Lena.
Bonjour!
And me, Oliver, your host of the Eiffel Tower podcast, where we usually talk about Paris, but not today, my friends.
Well, can you really talk about Paris without talking about
Versailles.
There you go.
We have had some unexpected visitors who really wanted to go and
Sounds
see.
like bed bugs. That's so gross.
We didn't have bed bugs actually, but we did have a mosquito.
Oh yeah,
We've gone off topic already.
Very much. Sorry about
we're
that.
excited, and that's why, because we're about to go to Versailles today, and we're going to do it differently.
We looked up trains, the usual transportation to get there, but
Trains are possible just for anyone thinking to do it, but it's you got to involve a bus basically, and it's a lot of mucking around. We thought
it's a beautiful day.
We thought we scooted around the entirety of France. We can probably make it to Versailles.
Yeah, shame on us if we can't.
Exactly, and we put our guests, the bed bugs, onto 2 bicycles, and they're on their way. So who knows? We might cycle part of the way too. But anyway, we just thought we'd take you to Versailles. Check it out during. I think it's a bit touristy there.
I think so, but Versailles is always Versailles.
And that's exactly what we're going to do. We got the full tickets. What do the tickets involve?
Everything.
So we're going to share a little bit of that from the way. Why don't you join us? Let's leave this beautiful Paris Perfect apartment, Montagny, if you want to look it up.
That's the one.
Where we've been staying. We've been staying with Paris Perfect for 2 months now.
It's a summer.
Wow.
A summer in Paris with Paris Perfect.
It's been the best summer. The show's not sponsored by them, though.
No.
Someone messaged me the other day. They said, I like that there's no ads in your show.
Yeah.
Bad news for you guys. This is sponsored by the Patreon supporters. Patreon.com/the Eiffel Tower. More about that at the end. But let's go to Versailles.
Let's go.
So we're getting the helmets up, putting the luggage in. The picnic. Isn't it incredible to think how much less luggage we have than the honeymoon?
Well, actually, I was just thinking the opposite. Isn't it funny that we always bring as much luggage for a one-day trip as we did for a 2-month honeymoon trip around France?
On Instagram, I'm going to put a picture of how much luggage we had today and how much luggage we had then. You guys can check it out. And we should take a picture of where the scooter is parked right in front of the Eiffel Tower, so you guys at home can do some armchair travel with us.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get the sound of the scooter starting up.
All right.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
So what I think, as we just paused for a second to look at directions already, but we've gone past the Eiffel Tower, that Statue of Liberty, we've gone through, the city started changing into bigger like apartment blocks and stuff.
Skyscrapers. Yeah.
And a beautiful day. And as we pause here, I'm thinking what could be cool about this trip is we're going to go through all the little villages between here, or the little sort of suburbs between here and Versailles. So maybe we'll stop there and have an explore.
Definitely.
Let's see how we go.
All right.
So, arrived in Versailles after about 50 minutes with a few stops along the way. Unbelievable how much it reminded me of the honeymoon.
I know. It had everything. Except the packing.
It was kind of crazy. Like, we were driving light because we didn't have all the luggage with us. It just for you guys who are new around here and don't know what we're talking about, 2 years ago now, Lena and I drove 3,000 miles around France on the scooter at a top speed of about 30 miles an hour.
Yeah. Wow.
And just doing that 1 hour trip.
The patience we must have had.
Yeah, I know. We were newly married then.
I know.
Yeah.
Things were different.
But now we're in Versailles, and what I'm going to do is a little kind of, after this I'll do a sort of a 1 minute history of Versailles and the chateau so people sort of get an idea.
Nice.
But what we've done now, because we were obviously a lot quicker than our cycling companions, we got here way quicker than they did, obviously. But what I thought was really cool, we just spent the past 15 minutes scooting around the town of Versailles.
Yeah, something I've never done before, because we always take the train here and then we're by foot, and after a whole day walking around Versailles, you don't really feel like exploring the whole town.
This was new. Mm-hmm. And you know what struck me? Manhattan.
Manhattan?
Yeah.
Why?
Grids. Did you notice that?
Oh, no, I didn't.
It was only... The streets are all parallel and
cool.
perpendicular to each other.
Ah,
right? Did you notice that?
Yeah, it's true.
So
now
whereas
you say it.
in Paris and like in all the most of Paris, there's curling, winding streets, and it's easy to get lost. Here, it's just main roads with side roads going off all in a big grid.
So true.
It doesn't feel like Manhattan.
No.
Though there is
very,
a
very
KFC
opposite.
and a McDonald's really close to us, but
Yeah, we're looking straight at it.
yeah,
But
doesn't mean we're going to go in.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go into the palace. Even though I've been before, I'm excited. Every time it's like it's an event, you know?
The only thing I will say is, as we scooted past the palace, big crowd.
Yeah, there was a big queue.
Not
I
looking
don't
forward
know.
to that so much.
I don't know
On a beautiful
where
blue
that one
sunny
came
day.
from.
Yeah. I think it's all the European tourists.
Had the same smart idea that we had.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to get a quick coffee, I think, and then we're going to head to the line, talk to you inside the Château de Versailles. So as we walk towards the Palace of Versailles, I can see it right in front of us.
Yeah,
we must be about
approaching the beast.
2 minutes away from it. I figured a good tip with Paris, with everything in Paris, is you look up the reviews before you go there, right?
Yeah.
So I've got it up on TripAdvisor.
Okay.
So
Is this like the best review?
No,
Or
just
how do you choose
so
them?
I'm going to give you a bit of info about it first. So you got to remember that Versailles is also a town. So many
just
people,
a castle.
most people say Versailles and they think of the palace.
Yeah.
But it's also a town. So when you look up the palace, it's number 1 of the 79 things to do in Versailles. Okay. There have been 26,000 reviews on TripAdvisor,
Whoa.
and this is the number 1 thing, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So what I figured I'd do is I'd look at one of the great reviews and one of the terrible reviews.
All right.
Let's start with excellent. Don't forget to visit the gardens. Being in Versailles, the 14th of July is nice. Limited traffic, good atmosphere. The palace itself is overwhelming but not surprising. This guy wasn't surprised by it. It is as expected. I was more pleased with the beautiful gardens. Be sure you take enough time that you plan. Visit on a day when the fountains are active and the music.
Okay, I think we are actually.
Don't forget comfortable walking shoes. You will need them.
Good.
Check, 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 check.
Yes.
Good review
So
there.
far, so good.
But I want to also say there's 1,135 people who said it's terrible. I mean, come on.
That's harsh.
But let's see what they had to say.
Do you think they'd be like, it was raining?
This is one from Guillaume. Not for tourists. I went there on a sunny Sunday. Oh gosh, that's us.
That's us.
The queue was not well indicated. I had to go up the front to understand what they correspond to and then go back. Okay, whatever. Claire, what a mess. Wow, pay your ticket full price in advance, arrive on time, do the queue for 1 hour. What a big mess. They're not able to welcome people. Wear a mask inside. Really bad experience. TripAdvisor sold me a ticket for a day when the museum was open for free. The purpose of the ticket was to skip the... Okay, guys.
Okay.
Worst thing
alright,
with
that's
reviews
harsh.
in general and TripAdvisor is when they don't review the actual thing.
Yeah,
And
when
they,
it's
you
just
know-
like circumstances outside, like weather. You gotta review the weather.
No.
Come
no.
on.
Anyway, that were the reviews today. Often I'd read the podcast reviews, but I think
yeah.
we'll stick with that. Versailles reviews.
Oh, I like
But
it.
it's a good tip for Paris in general to get a sort of an oversight. You know, it's always good to look at the bad reviews too, just to see.
Their entertainment.
No, true, but like things like the queue now, we know that it could be a headache,
Yeah.
and we can plan accordingly, like not to come in the middle of the day.
On a Sunday.
Yeah,
On
oops.
a sunny Sunday.
Anyway, we're going to get in
No,
there
we're
now.
good,
We've
we're
got up
good.
to the beautiful, majestic gates.
Yeah, all golden.
Time to get inside them. Okay, we're in. Pretty smooth to get through. What they're doing at the moment is they're putting in half an hour queues and gaps. So if you're coming in at the 3 o'clock gap like we are, then you just get in a massive line that moves really quickly while the line for 3:30 builds up slowly. So it's kind of a sort of social distancing, although it's still pretty busy. But now we've got through the gates and we're into the big grand courtyard. where, if you guys have been listening for more than a year, you might remember we watched a sword fight reenactment last year. How's the bike ride, guys?
Bumpy. Sweaty.
It's just a recorder. Audio.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay?
It's okay.
Tight security here. How long did it take to cycle?
50 minutes, maybe?
50?
50?
Okay. Uphill, downhill?
Both, but mostly uphill.
And would you recommend it for other people?
If they want a good trek.
A good trek.
Yeah.
Now time to walk for 4 hours. Shall we do it? Alright, just an interruption for history lesson. I'm going to see if I can make the Palace of Versailles into a simple bite of history, so that all you guys who don't really know much about it can understand it. Here we go. From 1682 till 1789, which maybe you already know is the start of the French Revolution, the Palace of Versailles was the principal royal residence of France. Now, the main guy you need to know is Louis XIV, Louis XIV, and he first went there when he was a kid, or a child, if my mum is listening, and he came out there hunting. He loved it. They'd already sort of built a hunting lodge there, and they transformed it into this mega mammoth palace that just kept growing long after Louis XIV's death. It's located about 20 kilometers southwest of the center of Paris and is one of, if not the biggest tourist destinations in the country. I think it's second after the Louvre and ahead of the Eiffel Tower, although that changes all the time. And it shot to being even more famous in recent Netflix series. I think it's Netflix, called Versailles, and that Marie Antoinette film by Sophia Ford Coppola. So you probably already know what I'm talking about. I'm just putting this out there in case you don't. And it's absolutely worth a visit. Famously, you can find Marie Antoinette's Hamlet out in the very far back garden, and the gardens are absolutely spectacular. But really, this is opulent. I mean, I highly encourage you to go look at some pictures of it while I'm talking. But this is just a fantastically beautiful palace and gardens. And I think that should do the trick. Let's get on with the tour. Lena,
Yes?
what are your thoughts so far?
My thoughts are, I'm surprised there are so many people.
That's true.
I'm very surprised, but also my thoughts are, it's just opulence upon opulence.
It's just so good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's not, it's very easy to say like, oh no, let's just do the gardens, the queue is too long, but it's definitely worth having a look inside.
You know what it reminds me of a little bit? It's like if you get a whole box of chocolates to yourself.
Yeah.
And you just don't know where to start. And you like them all,
all right, Forrest Gump.
That's kind of what it feels. It's just every room is so... I've been listening to the audio guide, which is very good. Not quite an audio experience, but an audio guide.
Not quite.
It's very good. To the point. Get on with it.
Yeah.
And can recommend that as well. Get into the stories behind everything.
I'm just right now we're standing in at a little alcove by the window, one of the windows looking out into the gardens, and even just the window latch is a thing of beauty.
You want to take a picture?
Yeah.
Parisian postcards is where this will be. Typical.
Okay.
She's doing an Instagram shout out for herself here.
What?
But she's right. Everything. The thing is, we've been here 6 or 7 or 10 times maybe. It feels like every time we're here, we see different things. Not just 1 or 2 different things. I mean, different hallways and rooms. And we're going to keep pushing on and see where we end up. That's the sound of the squeaking floors as we go through the rooms of Louis XIV. Weirdly, I've been here a bunch of times. Every time I come here, it seems like it's a different opening. You can see different things. I don't think I've ever been up here before. Lots of artwork on all the walls, very dark. Too many people, kind of feels a bit like sheep being herded through. You don't want to stop too long to read anything because you're just taking up people's time, I guess. Anyhow, kind of, I think, besides the squeaking of the floor, which is kind of cool to hear. I think these rooms are best enjoyed visually. So be sure to check out some of the pictures that I'll be uploading about this as well. I think it's a fair guess that everybody wants to hear a little bit of podcast from the Hall of Mirrors, which is where I'm standing right now, just off from the Chambre du Roi, the King's Chamber. And what they've done here now that's kind of cool is usually you can walk both directions right through the big Hall of Mirrors, which, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to Google it. It's just this incredibly big hallway, probably about as wide as a basketball court and as long as about 4 basketball courts. And what they've done is they've sort of cordoned half of it off. So you walk down about a third, then you turn into some of the King's Chambers and so on, and then you pop out again on the other side, which means the middle of this huge hallway is just totally empty for the size of about a basketball court. So a lot of people are standing on either end taking nice pictures. And it's called the Hall of Mirrors, of course, because it's covered with mirrors on one side, which I've just listened to the audiobook, the audio guide anyway, and it was a sign of how strong and technically advanced France was at the time, because mirrors were so hard to make, I guess so expensive as well. So this is kind of the ultimate showing of France being on top of the world, and even today it still looks pretty incredible. You can maybe hear the crunch of my feet as we walk out of Versailles. That was an interesting experience. I say walk out of Versailles, walk out of the chateau or the palace. Now the gardens begin, which is a mammoth part of the visit. But it was really interesting to be in there during this pandemic, because firstly everyone was wearing masks. That was the rule. You had to have masks on to be in there. And they were enforcing it. If they saw anyone who'd sort of let it slip or looked like they were going to eat something, they went and stopped them. So they're pretty strict about it. But at the same time, there were so many people in there that it was kind of, I don't know, for me, I've been in lockdown in Paris for, well, there was firstly the 2 months of lockdown and then 2 months of kind of gentle easing of lockdown. So it was the first time for me, really, that I've been that cramped in with other people. It wasn't very comfortable, to be honest. All it made me think of was how much I'd like to be in Versailles when it's totally empty. How much I'd love to just go in there at 9 o'clock in the morning and walk around and take a look at it. But I don't know how that would ever happen. But the other thing that really struck me, and that I can perhaps recommend to people, is that there's a lot more to this palace than meets the eye. I remember I've talked about this on the show before. At any time that you go in there, you're not seeing more than a surprisingly small percentage of what's on offer. And as I understand it, they show different things at different times to different people. So as I look at it now, there's part of it right in front of me that's under renovation, which maybe is why we took a different journey through this one than other ones that I've taken. I know some tour guides, like the guys at Secret Journeys, do different trips through the buildings. So there's a lot to see in there, depending on who you go with, or what you want to see, or maybe what time of year you go. And the moral of that story is, someone like me who's been here many times and thinks they've seen a lot of it, I kind of felt today I hadn't seen anything. I felt like it was all new to me. So that's a lovely surprise. If you've been here before, I'd recommend you visit a second time. But be smart. Don't be like me. Visit it at a time. Try and do it on a weekday. Try and get out here in the morning. Don't do it on a hot day, because you'll just be standing in the sun like I'm going to be now. And really explore. Do those audio guides. Check it out. That's for me. Now I'm going to go and find a shady place to sit and have a pre-prepared picnic, which is another little tip for you all. And see where we end up, I guess. Hey Lena.
Hello.
You weren't with me for a while.
I know, I got lost in the splendor.
It's easy to get lost, isn't it?
Yes.
And now we're sitting out the front of Marie Antoinette's little
Amour.
It's a good word, isn't it?
Amour.
If you don't speak French, Hameau, Hamlet, I suppose, in English.
Hamlet, that's right.
But pronounced amour.
Amour.
And it's unfortunately closed, but we've been in there a couple times. I think on the podcast too.
I think so.
Yeah, so go and listen to that episode. I figured it'd be a good chance for us to just see what your thoughts are of the garden on this day.
Oh, today, I don't know. Today I like it a little bit extra.
Really?
I think maybe we spend more time in it or walked a different route or something. I like it a bit more today. Maybe it's the weather.
There are a lot of tour companies that do bicycle tours, and they're always worth a look as well because it is too big.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice to cycle around the whole canal because it's just too big.
Yeah, you said you have Louvre legs?
Louvre legs,
Louvre
yeah.
legs.
I invented that in the Louvre. I'm trying to make it catch on.
Yeah, I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
Louvre legs
and I have that.
You've got that now?
Yeah, I had that.
Oh, yeah.
But, when you walk so slowly because you have to look at all the art,
Yep.
that's harder than walking quickly.
That's true.
I think I cured it. We walk quickly now.
I thought that maybe they could make a conveyor belt in Versailles that you stand on.
I like it. Made of gold.
I think
and dreams.
The problem with the Louvre and Versailles is both of them, you tend to take a while to get there. And then you queue up to get in. And then by the time you're ready to go...
Like, you're already ready for a nap.
Yeah, we're quite young and sprightly. And
Usually.
we get tired, yeah.
Yeah.
I figured I'd take this chance to read an email.
Okay.
From Laura Lee Williams. And
she got to say for herself.
Well, she says, Oliver, bonjour, ça va?
Nice.
Maybe she's read my book where I say ça va.
Yeah.
To say I've been enjoying your superb podcast, The Eiffel Tower, is an understatement. I'm additives. I think she means addicted. I think she typed so quickly because she was so addicted.
So excited.
Like a sugar high or something.
Yeah.
The good news is I've shared this little gem, this golden nugget of yours of Parisian insight, content, history and humour with dear friends who are immediate loyalists as well.
Wow, royalists.
Yeah, loyalists.
Oh,
well,
yeah,
it could be royalists.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's my favourite kind of news there. As the petit train de Trianon goes past us, it literally is a little 4 carriages of train.
Do you think we can get on it?
That would be nice.
Yeah.
She says, j'adore sharing great finds of all things France with fellow wannabe Francophiles. You and lovely Lena have hit the jackpot for all the information I need on the City of Lights.
Oh, that's good.
Big congratulations. Not she, but people often mention you in emails, do you know?
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you, people.
She has a recommendation that comes with it. She says, I was in Paris, blah, blah, blah. I stayed in my favourite arrondissement, the 7th. Enjoy. Truly a favourite of my husband's and mine. Hello to your husband, Michael. I just read down.
Michel.
Here's the tip. She says, we stay at Le Cinq. Go and have a cocktail there. It's a hidden gem. I don't know Le Cinq.
As in, like, the number 5 or the sink?
That's
I don't know. Which
CINQ. Le Cinq.
Okay. All right, so 5.
Yeah. Probably not stay in the sink.
5. Well, I don't...
You can be sure I'll be signing up on Patreon, and that offer you are providing, well, please send a trial my way. I send trials to people over the weekend from my newsletter.
Nice.
Hope you all subscribe to my newsletters. I want to support your efforts, your vision, and your momentum. The Eiffel Tower needs to be taken to the next level. I know you'll be doing just that. And she did sign up. So thanks very much, Laura Lee and Michael. P.S. I'm kind of obsessed with the jingle before and at the end of the podcast. I cannot get it out of my head. How can I get their CD? That's Slim and the Beast. That's a song they wrote for us called
How
Go
cool
for a
is
Ride.
that?
I don't think you can get it.
Go for a ride. I spoke over you.
No, that's all right.
Oh.
We're married. We can get away with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's all right.
The song is called Go for a Ride. Slim and the Beast wrote it for us. I don't think they ever released it.
I don't think so.
But I played it in full at the very first episode of the honeymoon season, if you want to listen to it.
It's very good. My favorite.
Anyway, thank you for signing up on Patreon. And anyone else out there who's interested in knowing what goes on behind the Patreon club, just send me an email. I'll send you a taster. So thanks, Laura Lee, for the message. Lovely to... I think you'll love it anyway that we read it out in front of Marie Antoinette's old place. But I think that's kind of it for today out at Versailles.
A little royal adventure.
I think maybe we could each give a tip to people thinking to come out here.
Oh, wow. Okay, put me on the spot here.
I'll go first while you think.
Okay.
My main tip is come early in the day. Come at like 8 o'clock.
Yes, because if you traveled far and only go for one day and then things close like it did for us though, it's not so fun. You want to like be able to do everything. So yeah.
And
can I get in on that?
Hordes, yeah.
Can I get in on
yeah,
that
you
tip?
can get in on that together.
Book a ticket beforehand.
Okay, well, I think it's time to head home, everybody. Thank you for listening to this show. When we get home, I'll put a proper conclusion on this.
Yeah, can we add some like royal music as well?
On that note, yes. Alright, there you have it, guys. I thought I'd do one more of these on the road episodes. I used to do a lot of them, if you remember, about a year ago when I last did one like this in Versailles. But I'm back home again now. Everyone's pretty tired, so I'll keep this short. But yeah, if you enjoyed that, I highly recommend you visit the Palace of Versailles. Even if you've been there before, you should go there again. And the people that were with us at Cycled found it, I mean, a bit challenging on the way there. It was all uphill, but a really nice ride on the way home. If you can get a scooter, even better. And the train itself is actually really easy to take too. So that'll be it for now. I've got some really cool guests lined up for some future episodes. Check out the website, theeiffeltower.com, for lots more pictures. Check out the Eiffel Tower on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for a lot more content. And if you think that this is so enjoyable that it's worth paying for, jump in on Patreon. Patreon.com/The Eiffel Tower, where for a small monthly price, you will be ensuring that the quality continues to improve. Be like Laura Lee Williams and sign up today. There is so much extra. There's Guide to Paris. There's the audiobook for Paris on Air. There's all sorts of extras that you get immediately upon signing up, and you help me make the show better. So it's what I like to think of as a win-win. I will see you next week for another good episode. I've got some really good guests coming out. I'm looking forward to sharing them with you. I'll talk to you then. Thanks for listening. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.